Morning everyone, I'm here in Litchfield National Park in the Northern Territory. I'm about to start the Tabletop Hike, which is a 3-day hike, about 40 kilometres going around Litchfield. So we've decided to start today at Florence Falls, but it's a loop walk, so you can start from any of the major car parks. So come along on my journey and let's do the Tabletop Track. Downhill! Yeah! Alright, so about 4 kilometres into the walk. We're heading towards Walker Creek at the moment in that direction. And we're just here on our first drink break. So we've been walking for roughly 50 minutes. And as you can see, it's a really nice little creek spot to stop and splash your face and grab some water. So we've got Northern Campground down this way 400 metres. We're going to stick to the track though and keep heading towards Walker Creek. Turkey bush. This is turkey bush. Hey everyone, I've just got to my lunch spot today. It's about 2 o'clock and I've gone 17.5 kilometres. We sort of pushed through a little bit to get to somewhere where we could have a bit of a swim and a cool down, but it was definitely worth it to be in this nice little lunch spot. And we're going to have about 3 more kilometres to walk before we get to our camp tonight, but definitely worth stopping here for a bit of a rest and to cool off. So this is Genya Campground. There's lots and lots of different sites you can pick from. It is not a heap of shade, but there's a good little platform where you can organise yourself here. It's a bit unstable, so you wouldn't cook there, and then there's a fireplace if there's no fire band at the time. But yes, this is Genya Campground, a nice little spot with great views. The campsite itself, there's no water. It overlooks the escarpment. It's right at the top. But about 50 meters down the hill, you have a beautiful swimming spot. So check out the swimming hole. Alright everyone, welcome to day 2 on the Tabletop Track.
We cross the escarpment, along the escarpment for 5k until we come to the turn off to Wongai Falls. We then, it's 1k further down until we come to the second turn off that takes us up towards Southern Campground, which is a further 3k. So we got 5k, 1k, 3k.
And what sort of landscape can we expect after the turn off to Wongai?
That we'll see this dry savanna, rocky ridges, and occasionally we'll get little moments across the high, dry swamps.
High dry swamps?
High dry.
Just gonna go fill up our water bottles before the day gets started. So nice flowing water here. You can treat the water if you're worried. You can put it in an aqua tab or a life straw, but I prefer to just drink it straight. So only about an hour away from Denya Falls, we've got to Vine Jarrett Falls, which is actually a really nice little swimming spot. Really nice pool down the bottom and lovely flowing falls. So this is the top of Vine Jarrett Falls, and you can see a nice little waterfall flowing down into a swimming pool below. So I'm going to head down there now and go for a swim. Wongai Creek. Alright, so I've just stopped for lunch here at Wongai Creek. We've just walked past the link track that connects down to Wongai Falls. We still have about 4 kilometres to go until our campsite, but we've just stopped here for lunch at Little Creek. So 4k's to go and then we'll be at Southern Campground. You've never seen a leech in the tropics? It's a leech. Why? With sunscreen? Yeah. Alright, so this is the turn off to the Green Ant Creek Link Walk. So this is another spot where you can walk out and you can hit a car park, and Green Ant Creek is a nice little swimming spot. I've actually done this section before. I'm not going to do it today because we're going to keep going down here to do the loop, the tabletop loop. But this section I've done before, and it's quite tricky and requires quite a bit of map reading skills because the path's sometimes difficult to follow and difficult to see. But it is a nice spot to walk out to, but just be aware that if you want to do this, you do need to be quite competent in map reading and using a compass. So if you're going to go and do this link walk, make sure you're experienced. But we're going this way, keep going to Southern campground and sticking on the tabletop track. Right, end of day 2 everyone, coming into the campsite. This is Southern Campground by some little falls, nice and shady in some spots. Here we are. Alright, so we're all set up for the night now. All the camp stuff is out and tents are up, and we're all pretty nicely settled in. So the next time you hear from me will be tomorrow when we'll do the final day. But here's a little look at what the setup of our camp is like at Southern Campground. So this is the campsite at Southern Campground. We've decided to pop our tent in here. A couple of other members of our group have just fly nets or mosquito nets to keep the mozzies away at night, but otherwise they don't really have any tent. But we're right on the creek over there, so you can grab fresh water anytime at night. But for now, I'm gonna stop filming and I'll see you tomorrow. Morning everyone, welcome to day 3 on the Tabletop Track. Today we're going to be walking out back to the car at Florence Falls. So last night we camped at Southern Campground and we have about 12 kilometres to get back to the car. It should be a bit of a tricky day, I think. Maybe a little bit hot again, but I think it's going to be great, and hopefully we find some good swimming spots along the way. So see you on the track.
This is 12.4 k. We start the first couple of k along the Wongai Creek in an environment which will become easier, less rocky, and more like the walk to the toilet. Did I mention the walk to the toilet? And then we gradually rise in our 3rd kilometre up onto the plateau, and 4 kilometres across the plateau, by which time we reach the 4-wheel drive track. We then, beyond the 4-wheel drive track, we meet the headwaters of the Florence Creek and spend the rest of the day following the Florence Creek with increasing forest. 2 kilometres from the end, we leave the creek to follow the ridge just away from the creek before we come across the linked track that takes us back to Florence. We're just about back at the car, and that completes our 39-kilometre tabletop loop. So back at the car park at the 4 Drive Campground at Florence Falls, and that's all. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer anything you like. Thank you.